everyone, in this video we are going to see Salesforce admin interview related questions. The session agenda is we are going to cover 15 interview focused scenario based questions. All the questions and answers are attached as PDF in the description. You can go check it out. If you have any doubt anywhere, you can comment below and I'll try to make a dedicated video on that question. First question is, how would you differentiate between lookup and master detail relationships? Can you explain the real business scenario? So in Salesforce, we have two type of relationship, lookup and master detail. In lookup, parent and child are independent. Child record can exist without a parent. It means you can create child record even if you don't populate the parent field. It has limited control over security and sharing. So the child record has an independent sharing setting. You can define the sharing setting of child independently. No automatic deletion. It means whenever you delete the parent record, child will not be automatic deleted, and you cannot create a roll-up summary field. In master detail, child is completely dependent on parent. Parent can control security and sharing of child. Child cannot exist without a parent. So whenever you delete parent record, child is also getting deleted. You can create roll-up summary fields on parent object so that it can summarize data of the child object. So these are some of the differences between lookup and master detail relationship. Some of the real business example that we have is contact and account is linked as a lookup relationship. You can delete an account and the contact will not be deleted, which is a lookup property. For master detail example, we have order and order line items. So order is a parent, order line item is a child, and they have a master detail relationship. Although we are going to see how these are special lookup relationship in Salesforce, because if you see on setup, order and order line item is connected with the lookup relationship, but it behaves as a master detail relationship. We are going to see it on the next question. So whenever you delete order, all the line items are also getting deleted, and you can create a roll-up summary field on order object to summarize data or total amount of order line items. So the next question is, what is relationship between account and opportunity in Salesforce? Is it lookup or is it master detail? So technically, account and opportunity is having a lookup relationship in Salesforce. However, it behaves as master detail in some ways, hence we call it as a special relationship. If I go to org, you can see I am on the opportunity object, and you can see account is having a lookup relationship, but it behaves as a master detail relationship. Why? Because whenever the account is deleted, its related opportunities are also getting deleted, which is a master detail property. Also, you can create roll-up summary fields on account to summarize data from related opportunity. It is also a master detail feature. Hence, we can call it as a special relationship in Salesforce. This is one of the trickiest interview questions you must have to know. The next question is, what is role of record types in Salesforce and how they are different from page layouts in practical use? So record types in Salesforce are used to control business processes, pick list value, page layouts for different type of users or use cases within the same object. So different pick list values for different scenarios. So you can define what all pick list value you want to show for a particular field. You can do that by creating record type. You can assign different record types to different page layouts. It also supports different business processes. Example, sales stage. Example, we can say as a retail customer versus corporate customer. Each can have different field values and flows. On the other hand, page layouts only control how the UI looks, what fields are placed where, and which section and button are visible and editable. So they basically define field placement, sections, read only versus editable fields, and related list placement. So we have one example here. So these are two different record type. One is for technical issue and other is for billing issue. So these two are the example of case record, but they have different record type. So here you can see type field has these values, but on the other hand, in the billing issue, you can see type as a different pick list value. So when you create the field from the setup, you define all the pick list value, right? You cannot define for different cases, like for technical issue and billing issue, you cannot define it there. So that is the place where record type helps. because in record type you can define what all pick list value you want to show to user in case of technical issue cases, and what all pick list value you want user to see in case of billing type of issue. And you can also assign different page layout for different record types. So let me know if you want dedicated video on record type, because it's pretty confusing sometimes. Put a comment down below and I'll try to make a dedicated video for record types and page layout. So the next question that we have is, how does OWD influence record visibility in a complex Salesforce implementation? So OWD defines the basic baseline level of access that users have to the records they do not own. It is the first layer of security in Salesforce record access model. So OWD sets how restrictive or open your data model is. If you set it as private, user can only see their own records. If you set it as public read only, user can view all the records, but they can edit only their own records. So the owner of the record can only edit it, but all the other users can able to view it. In case of public read/write, users can view and edit all the records. So every user can view all the records and also edit all the records. Normally in business, in big organizations, they set it first as private and then they open record access via different methods like role hierarchy, sharing rules, manual sharing, and apex sharing. So it's always advisable to make it private first and then expand the access using different methods. If a user is higher in role hierarchy but still cannot access a record, what could be the possible reasons? So even if a user is higher in role hierarchy, they might not get access to record due to specific security configuration or object behavior. So we have different reason why it may not be visible to the user. So for the custom object, we can check grant access using hierarchy is disabled or not. If you go to setup and security and sharing setting, you can see OWD. So for the custom object, you can verify if this checkbox is checked or not, because once this grant access using hierarchy is checked, only the user in higher role hierarchy can able to view the records of the user lower in hierarchy. Object level permission, we can also check if user does not have the access to object, he cannot see the record of that object as well. And we can lastly check some of the managed apex sharing. The company may have some of the apex logic to create the sharing record or to control the sharing of different records. So that might be affecting why the user is not able to see that particular record. These are some of the approaches that we can follow. Moving on to next question. Can you explain the difference between role hierarchy and sharing rules? When would you use each? So role hierarchy and sharing rules both are used to extend record access. So as we have seen that OWD is the most restrictive, and then we can expand using role hierarchy, sharing rules, and other method. So role hierarchy is it provides vertical access based on organization structure. So access flows upward. So if there is a manager and there are multiple subordinates, so all the record which is visible or owned by subordinate manager can able to view it. Example, sales manager can see all opportunities owned by sales reps. Sharing rules on the other hand provide horizontal access between users who are not in the same hierarchy. So let's suppose there are two users in different group. I want to give access of all the records to a particular group or to a particular role. So we can do it by using sharing rules. So it is used to share record across roles and groups, and we can also put some criteria based on which we want to share it to different roles or groups. We can set some criteria for it. For example, all India accounts we want to share with US sales teams. So we can do it by using sharing rules. What is a permission set group, and in what scenarios would you prefer it over profiles? So permission set group is a collection of multiple permission set bundled together and assigned to user as a single unit. It simplifies permission management by allowing you to combine and reuse permissions efficiently. When you want to prefer it over profiles is, it provides modular access control. When a user needs combination of permissions,
So it's always better to bundle all the permission and give it to the user. Avoid creating multiple profiles. So instead of creating multiple profiles like sales profile, sales plus integration profile, sales plus reporting profile, what we can do is we can create a one profile which is called as sales, plus we can give the user different permission set based on the requirement of access they want to have. Permission set group is easy to update. If we want to give some more access to the user, we can go and update the permission set group or permission set, and all the user which has that permission set will get updated, will get the newer access. But if we are giving different profiles to different users, we have to go to all the profiles and then update it manually everywhere, so which is a lot of complexity and lot of update we have to do on profile level. It's always better to use permission set group or permission set over profile to give some extra access to the user. How would you troubleshoot a situation where a user reports they cannot see a specific field? So these are some of the questions where there can be multiple approaches. It's all about how you explain in the interview. To troubleshoot when a user cannot see a specific field in Salesforce, I would follow a step-by-step approach across all security layers, since field visibility is controlled at multiple levels. So first I'll check the field level security. I'll go to field, check profile and permission set access. I will ensure that visible is enabled, read access is also granted. I'll also check on the page layout if field is added to the page layout or not. If it is not added on the page layout, user will not able to see it. I'll also check some of the record assignment. Different record types use different page layout. We can identify what is the correct record type is assigned or not, field exists on that layout or not. Also at last we can check the profile and permission set of the user, if user has the correct profile or not, or if any additional permission set is required to the user or not. So these are some of the steps that we can follow to debug why the user cannot see a specific field. How can you restrict users from editing certain fields once a record reaches a specific stage or status? So these are some of the scenario based questions you may get in an interview. To restrict user from editing certain field after a record reaches a specific stage or status, we can use validation rule or field level security depending on the requirement. So best approach here for this question is to create a validation rule, and we can prevent a user from saving the changes when the conditions are met. For example, if opportunity stage is closed won, so I don't want user to update any certain field in that case. Let's say the amount field, I don't want the user to update whenever opportunity is in closed won stage. So we can write some of the sample logic we have written here. We can write a validation rule here. So whenever stage name is closed won, if the amount is getting changed, we will throw a validation rule error that user cannot update the field when the stage is closed won. So this is the best way to restrict user from changing any field after a specific stage is reached. Moving on to next question, what approach would you use to perform mass update on records without granting user full data access? Again, a scenario based question. To perform mass updates on record without giving user full data access, I would use controlled and secure mechanism like Flow or Apex instead of directly granting broad permission. So Flow and Apex can run on system context. So we are not giving user directly all the access, but they can very much do it using the Flow and Apex. So in the flow approach, we can use a screen flow or auto launch flow with controlled logic. These can run in system context, and we can limit access via a specific field or specific conditions. In the Apex approach, we can write custom Apex to update the records. It can run in system mode, so we are not giving full data access to the user. We can apply strict condition, and we can expose the Apex using button, flow or lighting component. How do you track and audit changes made to important fields in Salesforce? So in Salesforce, we can track using field history tracking. It will track a specific field on a record. It will store what is the old value of the field, the new value of the field, and who made the changes and timestamp. But the limitation is we can only use up to 20 fields per object. data retained for a limited time, typically 18 to 24 months depending on the access. We can also set up audit trials. So these are to track changes related to configuration on the setup. So who changed what in setup, example profile changes, field creation, permission set updates. So these are useful for admin level of auditing whatever is changed on the setup context, not on record data. We can also use event monitoring. It will track user activity in detail like login history, API uses, data exports. So it is used in security monitoring or compliance heavy, or so like the company which is heavily oriented in compliance. Moving on to next question, how do validation rules, flows, apex triggers interact during record processing? What is the order of execution? So first, before save flow will run, it is used to update fields efficiently before database save. And then we have the before trigger will run, it executes before record is saved, used for validation calculations and logic. And then we have the validation rule will run. If validation rule is failed, record is not going to save. Then after validation rule, we have the after trigger will execute. It runs after database commit and it is used to create and update related records. So you can see the order of execution here. First before save flow, then before trigger, then validation rule, then after trigger, and then flow after. Next question is, when would you choose flow over process builder or workflow rules in modern Salesforce implementations? So but before moving to answer, if you have any doubt, you can put it on the comment and I'll try to make a dedicated video on that topic. So the question is, when would you choose flow over process builder or workflow? So in modern Salesforce implementation, flow is preferred automation tool and is chosen over workflows or process builder because it is more powerful, flexible and future proof. Salesforce also has deprecated workflow rules and process builders, so no new feature will be coming onto those automation tool. All new automations should be built using flow. It has capabilities of creating, updating, deleting records, loop through collections, call apex, handle complex logic. So you can see this table to know more about the difference between flow, process builder and workflow rule. Flow is also faster than process builder and workflow rules. How would you debug a flow that behaves differently for different users? So there are multiple approaches. First, we can check and debug that flow. We can open that flow and click on debug and we can run as another user. Also we can check user permission if he has the right permission or not, profile and permission sets. Then we can check the record level access, like we can verify if the user can see or edit the record or not. We can check OWD settings, role hierarchy and sharing rules to see if user has access to that record or not. So on an interview you can answer like this: I would use flow debug mode and then check user permission, sharing settings and execution context, as differences in these areas usually cause inconsistent behavior. And then we have the last question for this video is, what is delegated admin and why do organizations use this feature? A delegated admin in Salesforce is a user who is given limited admin privileges to manage specific user roles or objects without granting full system admin access. So delegated admin is something we are not giving full system admin access, but we are only delegating them to perform certain action only on Salesforce. So depending on configuration, they can create, manage user with assigned roles or groups. They can reset password for user, assign roles and profiles to user, and manage specific custom objects. And why do organizations use delegated admin? Because large organizations distribute admin tasks across departments or regions without giving them full admin access. So on an interview you can say that delegated admins are users with limited admin rights to manage specific user or objects, helping organizations scale admin securely without giving full admin access. So we have seen all the 15 questions for this video, and we will come up with more questions on Salesforce admin related interview and also for the other topics like Salesforce developer question, integration question and all those kind of stuff. Do let me know if you have any doubt and if you want any dedicated video on any particular topic, I'll try to make that video for it, and do follow for more such video. I hope you like this video, and bye.